Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and the place to be, it's Deb C. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Hey guys, and happy Friday. I hope everybody had a wonderful week, and guess what? It is the weekend. Ooh, it is the weekend. It is payday. I'm loving it. Okay, so listen. First of all, let's just get something out right now. If you sense that I am a little stiff, it's because I am. So I woke up this morning and I don't know if it's like, it's not right in the middle of my neck, but it's like, it's over, it's by my, I don't know if it's my shoulder or if it's my back. It feels like it's my back. I think it's my back. So, I have had this ache in my back like all day long. So if I'm looking stiff, please, I mean, if you put in the comments, you were not as up on that, on your movements, it's because of that. I don't know. I just woke up and it was like kaplooey. So, okay, let's also address another thing. Yeah, you didn't get a video from me yesterday because I made a decision on Wednesday to watch, to fully commit to watching the Penguins home opener, because I am a diehard fan of the Penguins. I don't want to say I kind of wish that I would have watched the Golden Bachelorette, but the Penguins lost and lost bad. It was 6-0. It wasn't fun at all, but that's the good thing about hockey. There's like 80 more games, so we'll be fine. Drinking tonight, I'm drinking peppermint tea. We're gonna spill the tea, and we're gonna cover, I'm gonna try to get 2 videos up tonight, but I probably will just get the one. And I'm going to be discussing, recapping, and ranting about this week's episode of the Golden Bachelorette. Finally, let's get to it. So this week, as last week, there are 2 there's 2 one-on-one dates and a group date. Okay, so with Greg done, who's gonna be doing the laundry for Pascal? Well, nobody, because Mark is teaching him how to do the laundry. When it comes to the one-on-one dates, Keith is sweating. Keith really wants a one-on-one. I would be sweating too if I was Keith, because he got the first impression rose. He has gotten not a lot of attention so far. So I would be sweating. And Guy also would like one. Well, I'm sure all of them would like one, but those are the 2 that voiced their concerns. Okay, so first date card comes. It is a group date. Pascal is announcing it, and when he says, it says on there Pascal, so he says Pascal, me, which of course that's the only Pascal there, Jonathan, Mark, Gary, Stalker Gil, Chalk, Keith, Charles, and Dan. Let's bear it all for love. Now, it could be bear, B-A-R-E, it could be B-E-A-R. Okay, so they don't know what it's gonna be. So the one-on-ones are going to be Guy and Jordan. So they get in the Sprinter van and they're like, wonder what it's going to be. Mark, listen, I love you, Mark, but bear wrestling? You think that ABC is going to be like, listen, we've run out of ideas, so what we're going to do, we're just going to bring in live bears. We're going to have them wrestle these old guys. Yeah, I think that would be good. So if there's not a heart attack, then the bear will just get them. Yeah, cool. That's not how it works. Here's how it works. They go to Hollywood and Vine, and waiting in a theater is Joan. Joan brings out Caitlin Bristow and the original Chippendales. Well, first she brings out the Chippendales, and then she brings out the OG Chippendales. Listen, these guys still got it. They are still touring the country and still dancing. So what it is, they're not bear wrestling. They are going to be Chippendales. they are going to be stripping. They're going to be doing a routine. But it is for charity. It is for, they're teaming up with the Stand Up for Cancer, which is Joan's husband had passed from pancreatic cancer. We find out later on that Mark's wife had passed from cancer. So they get a little tutorial. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I do love a good male stripper. When you're in the moment, it's like, ooh, sexy. Look at them all sexy. But when you see them breaking it down and teaching people like how to do it, and then they have special names for like the one where they go like this and then they go woo into the body roll and they're like woo. That's the shampoo. That's just do shampoo. Okay, when they break it down like that, it's not so sexy. Okay, so they head back. The guys get their outfits. I don't know what Charles is supposed to be dressed up as. Is it like a tourist? Okay, so the show starts. They do their little dance at first, and then they're given solos. Listen, you cannot tell me that Jonathan has never done that before. Okay, he ripped that shirt perfectly, and he ripped his pants off on cue. He says he didn't. I think he did. Also, another thing, listen, Caitlin Bristow, please stay away from Kelsey's dad. Is that Kelsey's dad? Yeah, that's Kelsey's dad. You need to stay away from Kelsey's dad because Joan may very well be making a love connection with him, okay? You need to stay away from him. She's like, that's a DILF, a dad I'd like to fool around with. Listen, no. Team Tasha all day, every day. Forget that. Okay. Now listen, when Chalk was coming up, Joan was like, she said twice, she's like, that's Chalk. This is Chalk. That's her front runner. That's the man that's her front runner. But what is he dressed up as? Is he supposed to be like a millionaire oil rigger? Like what? Like is he a billionaire cowboy? Because he had on a tuxedo and a cowboy hat. Is he supposed to be like J.R. Ewing? What the hell? I don't understand what he was dressed as. But I tell you, those two, he's the only one that gave her a kiss. Those two, I'm telling you, those two. I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't see a lot of chemistry between her and anybody else but Chalk. I'm just saying. That's how I feel right now. Okay, so at the after party, and the guys all like going into it, they were like, I don't know about this. But as soon as they heard about that it's for cancer and charity, they were like, okay, let's do this. Everybody had a good time. Everybody played into it and had a great time. So after party rolls around and Joan is talking to Chalk, and he talks to Joan, mentions that he does say he's worried about his mom. His mom is sick, worries about his mom, asks about Mary, asks about her mom. And then he's like, let's talk about us. And she says, let's talk about us. And she says that she missed him a lot. She really thinks there could be a future, and he makes her feel safe. I'm telling you what, those two are endgame. I'm saying it right now. Keith talked to Keith. Keith said actually during his 20s that he wanted to be a Chippendales dancer. Sir, we need to see pictures of you when you were in your 20s. Because, sir. Okay. Listen. And then everybody's talking nice, and then here comes Jonathan with his old crusty gold sweaty ass juicy gold underwear that he just had on his body. Who are you giving? What kind of gift is this? I would have eliminated him right then and there. I would have said, who are you trying to give this to? Get out of town. I would have said, you nasty. And then I would have kicked him out. You can go. Or am I going to get a van? You can walk to the airport. Okay. Give me your old crusty ass underwear. Mark, she was talking to Mark, and she was talking about John. She was talking about Jonathan. He was talking about his wife, and his wife had said, I mean, it's obvious she knew she was going to go, and she was like, I want you to marry. I want you to be happy. And that kind of made her feel less guilty for moving forward. So I thought that was nice. The group rose, no surprise, went to Chalk because she said, this is who I feel like I have the deepest connection with right now. I feel the deepest connection with Chalk, a parent. So Chalk is on cloud 9. He just had the best night. Well, then wakes up to find out his, this was terrible. Producer had told him that his mother had passed away. He said she passed away. She had stage 4. So I'm thinking that it was cancer. And it was just so sad. But then he goes in and to see, like, he hasn't known these men for his entire life, but that's what it feels like. That's what it seems like to me, because just the love and the support that they gave to him was it was so beautiful and just so touching and so special. And and then he leaves. Well, but not before he goes and they sit on the bench and they talk. And, you know, he said beforehand that he really doesn't want to leave, but he has to go because, I mean, that's his mother and that's his family. Listen, if that were me, I would feel guilty and horrible till the end of the time if I wasn't there when she had passed. So he talks to Joan. Joan has to be having kind of like flashbacks to when she had to leave during the Golden Bachelor season. I had thought it really wouldn't surprise me if he came back. And if he doesn't come back, then he's going to be the next Golden Bachelor. That's just it. Okay, so Jordan, next up is Jordan's one-on-one date. Joan is kind of like not really in the moment right now because she had because of number one, just the terrible news about his mother, and then the fact that they had this really great connection. But she's gonna go all in because Jordan deserves that, and she really wants to see if there's something there with him. Jordan, I'm gonna tell you, listen. Jordan's 30 and 60 all at once. Like, I still don't know if he's for real 61 years old, but he's both. He's 30, like his hair is 60. His hair is 61, but then he's 30. I don't know. I still think it's on. So listen, I really think these producers work overtime on punishing these guys and everybody on this. They had to have sat down and been like, okay, so Jordan, tell us, what's some things that you just can't do or you don't want to do? Like last year, they sat down with Jen and was like, is there anything that you're very deathly afraid of? She's like, heights. And they're like, okay, we're going to give you 15 helicopter rides. Then we're going to make you jump off a building. Does that sound cool? So he was like, well, things that I don't like to do or I just can't do is ice skating. So their date is to go, ice skating. So they go ice skating. They have this nice little scene set up where they're going to go ice skating. So listen, he goes in there. He's already, I'm going to say probably maybe low key terrified of skating, of ice skating. But then it's on national TV. Plus it's in front of a woman that you're trying to show that you got some riz, that you're like, did I use that word right? That you're like, look at me, look at me. And so he's lacing up these skates. It's already hell on ice. But then he just falls on his ass and busts his coccyx. And then Joan's laughing, and she can't stop laughing. And listen, for anybody who's ever fallen on, then you know what it is. I have gone ice skating a total of twice. One time I fell and somebody almost skated over my fingers. And the other time I went, I fell multiple times. A lot of times on my ass. Thank God I got a big one and it was padding. But if you fall down, when you fall down, for those of you who have never fallen, how are you supposed to get up? Because it's not like, you got the skates on. So he's trying to get up, he gets up, and then she's just eventually pulling him. What kind of date is this? How is that Pascal gets to take a PJ out to Vegas and has old man River Wayne Newton singing to them? What else did somebody do? Chalk got to go to Disneyland. Even Jonathan went like horseback riding. He's going fish. I was gonna say he's going fish skating. He's going ice skating. Ugh, what? This is garbage for him. So Jordan is talking about his marriage. He says his marriage broke up due to breaches of marital trust. Now I know it's not right that I was like, oh shit, who did you cheat? Turns out, listen, his wife cheated on him. That was a mess. And it was him and his 4 kids living in a 2-bedroom apartment trying to make ends meet. Good for you. Good on you. Okay, here's what saved this date. They got REO Speedwagon. They didn't get the whole band. It was acoustic, but they got REO Speedwagon. He was pleased as punch with that because he listened to REO Speedwagon throughout his whole childhood. Which I don't understand, because in my mind, he's still 30. So, but they came out there, they said, I can't fight this feeling anymore. REO Speedwagon, listen, and REO Speedwagon just like a month ago or whatever, we're like, that's it, we're done touring. Was this it? Was this what drove them out of the game? Having to play Bachelorette? Well, some guy broke his coccyx. Oh, so another thing, listen, they got some musical budget. First they got Taylor Dane, and now they got REO Speedwagon. Come on. They're killing it with the music. And they had they had to get clearance from Phil Collins to play Take Me Home, which is awesome. So Jordan got the rose, but I have to tell you, honestly, I don't see a big connection there with like romantically. I don't know. I see friendship. Okay, so next we have Jordan's one-on-one date. Here's another one that you're like, is this what it is? But he goes over to Joan's house, and they cook. I get it. I get that you want to see like how you're going to do together. I understand that, but it's kind of a lame date. Like I just really think they're running out of ideas. Is what I think they're doing. I hope to God they don't pull out that nasty, that nasty wooden jacuzzi, that nasty wooden hot tub. But so he goes over there. They are going to cook. So he's an ER surgeon. He's a surgeon, which means cutting. You can cut stuff like skin, people. That's what you do. You're a surgeon. Here's this guy, he can't even zest a lemon. And then he's over there giving himself a pep talk. He's trying to zest. He's like, come on, you can do this. You can do this. You got this. Joan sees this and she puts him on. She says, here, cut these onions. She's like, I don't know if I want this guy being my doctor if he can't do this. I'm with you, Joan. But then he goes over for the onions. He don't look like he knows how to cut the onions. I don't want this guy anywhere near me if I'm in the hospital. He couldn't zest a lemon, and he couldn't even just barely cut this onion. No, thank you. Get me someone else. Guy was talking about his marriage. He's like, it ended suddenly, like after 30 years. What happened was the youngest kid went away, grew up, went away. They were empty nesting. So the focus at that point was just on the marriage. Like they couldn't hide behind the kids. Nothing would help this marriage. The spotlight was on them. He wasn't happy. He just wasn't happy. And they tried to do couples counseling. And she was like, nope, see ya, bye, later. So, yeah. Did he get the rose? He did get the rose. They talked, they danced, he got the rose. He's falling for Joan. So there we go. Joan in the background, Joan still is saying, before she heads out to the cocktail party, she says she's worried about Chalk. She's worried about Chalk, how Chalk's doing with, his mother passing, but also worried that he won't come back because he's a big part of her journey. Okay, so the cocktail party, Joan talks to Pascal and she's like, I wanted to talk to you because I wanted to make sure that you were still interested in me because it seems like you might not be. And he's like, that's not the case. That's not the case, mon chéri. I love you. I'm starting to have feelings for you. I do love it. I do like you, Joan. Woo-wee. That's supposed to be my French accent. So yeah, there's still a spark there. Okay. Jonathan, I'd like to know where you get a Cheerios box that is personalized. Jonathan gets Joan a custom-made Cheerios box, which made me then think, listen, you better put some sugar or something on that because those are kind of bland. Cheerios, if you want to sponsor me, you didn't hear that. And, which they won't. Also then I'm thinking there's going to be a Cheerios commercial, which I didn't pay any attention as to whether or not there was or wasn't. Okay. So Keith, listen, Keith set up this whole thing where, if you remember, the reason why he got the first impression rose was because he was like, let's pack up this family truckster and head to the beach. So he got like sand and he got like some beach towels and a beach blanket or whatever. He got a little beach setup, beach balls. And he was planning on kind of like on talking to her there. But then he started off, he was kind of dancing around the one-on-one date. He didn't ask anything about that. And couldn't talk, was sweating to beat the band. And he just muffed that up. I don't know that he's going to be going on a one-on-one date anytime soon. But I'm probably wrong. And listen, guess who's back? Chalk is back. Chalk is back. Chalk is back. He It was listen, and it looked like it was 20 minutes, but it was a week. And he's back. Joan is happy. He's happy. They talk. He said, listen, I'm afraid of getting hurt, but I'm going to open up more. Joan says she's really happy he's back. She has hope now and can see a future with more than one man. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I honestly, after he left, she was like, you could tell that her glimmer went out a little bit. And I don't know that she was necessarily feeling a lot of these men, but now that he's back, she has that glimmer again. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay, rose ceremony. And if you see rose ceremony, see I printed it out. It has little roses. Rose ceremony. Okay, did you see who got it? Okay, there's 4 roses. The guys who got it were Pascal, Jonathan, Mark, and Keith. Now, the ones that are out, Stalker Gill, which, okay, and I noticed that they really didn't have Gill in at all this week. Like, not at all. They didn't show him on the group date, nothing. They didn't show him leaving. Good, which made me think, listen, he knew all this stuff was going on with this temporary restraining order and all of this harassment and stalking, but he still came on the show. Well, he still came on the show. He had to have known that this was going to eventually get out. I mean, everything that they have done ever is found out and put on the internet. These days, you can't hide anything. So, I don't know. So, Stalker Gill is out. Dan, Gary, and Charles L. Listen, I'm going to say this. We all knew that Charles was not going to make it till the end. Like, there was friendship there. Like, with all of the guys that were cut, except for freaking Stalker Gill, Dan, Gary, and Charles, to me, it was just friendship with all of them. So it was sad to see Charles go, but we knew it was coming. Listen, and let me tell you, Gary walked up to her and she was like, my friend, I love you, I'm gonna miss you, and blah, blah. Wasn't he low-key kind of shady when he was like, you're lost. Oh, Gary. Yikes. And this, honestly, let me tell you, this was probably the most emotional rose ceremony goodbye, because these guys really did grow to become like brothers. And the thing that really made me sad was, like, Dan, when he was outside talking and he said he lives alone, and these people have become like brothers to him. And then when Charles was standing outside, and they're standing outside, they're both standing outside, and then all the guys that are still there went outside to say goodbye to them. And when Charles was saying goodbye, and he saw Mark, and he got so happy, and he yelled, Mark! And then they hugged. And then Keith went over and hugged Dan. And I thought it was just so sweet. I thought it was so sweet, because they really did grow to be great friends. And even if they didn't end up in a relationship with Joan, they got this like friendship that they'll have the rest of their lives. And that was just so there was so much love and support and like respect there between them. That's exactly the reason why I feel like I enjoy the golden version of The Bachelor and Bachelorette more than the original version, just because, I mean, you do have friendships coming out of the other ones. However, everybody in these version and the golden version is so just like respectful of each other and supportive, and with no like ulterior motives. I just think it was so sweet. Like, oh, and I had seen somebody on what was it? Maybe on TikTok or something, saying with Charles, it was almost like, it wasn't like Charles was on the Golden Bachelorette, but he could have maybe been like on a show called, I think they said, called Charles Chooses Life or something like that. And it was awesome to see him go from being like in such a like secluded, cut off place when his wife had passed, to now like opening up to life and just doing things that maybe he never thought he would do, and just making like these great friends that he'll have for his whole life. Oh, it was so sweet. That part was just so sweet when they all just went outside to say goodbye to them. It's just so heartfelt and genuine. So, and then at the end, they did put a little dedication to Chalk's mom, which I thought was very nice. So, okay, listen, I went pretty far over on this. You're probably going to get a video for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City tomorrow, because it's coming up on, what time? 8:31. Yes, I did do that upside down. Okay, so listen, in the comments, let me know if you watched and what you thought. I think, to be honest with you, I think endgame is she ends up with Chalk. Maybe chemistry is to come later on, but I think right now it's Chalk. So, okay, in the comments, let me know what you thought. If nobody told you yet today, you're loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity in this world out there, so it comes right back at you. Now that I see, don't mind my nose, but when I was doing, like, if you see a jump cut, it is because I was doing that. I was blowing my nose because of the crying. Oh, and because I feel like my nose is stuffed up. So, okay. What did I say? Please put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity in the world, so it comes right back at you. Please take care of one another. I almost gave the wrong finger. Be aware of your surroundings. Please be safe. Hydrate often with water. This does have water in it. It's made with water because it's tea. And also, if you're somewhere where there is danger, be it non-weather related or weather related, especially if you are somewhere that is affected by Helene and or Milton, please be mindful, be smart, be safe. Dolly and I are sending out our love and our prayers and our positive thoughts. And we love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.